Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas out there. Let's chat with my girlfriend, Stacie Korcok, about how different our Mother's Days were.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lumbadass Podcast. Hey girl, hey.
Hi.
I love saying that. You know, my niece is the one that started that.
Aw,
well,
I love it.
not really. She didn't really start that, but like she started it in our little family because nobody said that. And then her auntie Stacie, her other auntie Stacie, would always call her, hey girl, hey, call her Biscuit. It was so cute because she was such a little biscuit when she was born. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so I love starting conversations that way.
That's so cute.
I want to chat Mother's Day with you. Yeah. First of all, I just want to put this out there. I understand that there are mamas out there that have estranged relationships with their children, or their children have strained relationships with them. So to both of you, I see you. To the mamas who are celebrating Mother's Day with babies in heaven, I'm so sorry. My heart breaks for you, but we see you also. And for those of you who have tried years and years and years, I could cry, to get pregnant, I see you. And my heart just aches because I know how amazing it is being a mom, and I know how much I love it, that I can't imagine somebody who wanted that doesn't have that, and that breaks my heart for them. So,
well, and also
I
to
see
the
you.
dads that also take on the roles of moms too.
That's a great aspect. Or the single mamas out there.
Or any other, adult figure that takes on a parental role. So I think Mother's Day might need to be renamed. And
or if your mama is in heaven.
I know. Yeah.
I can't, I hate all of those things for all of you. The babies in heaven just kills me. I have friends who struggle with and have struggled with infertility, and it's heart-wrenching to me. And I hope that they know that there are moms out there along the journey who are cheering them on and loving them and supporting them. And then the estranged kills me. I can't imagine having an estranged relationship with my child, or my child being estranged from me. That would be so difficult.
The worst.
Yeah. And as a child, if I was estranged from my mother, that would be heart-wrenching. So I'm sorry that's in your life and in your world right there. And I hope it gets better for you. So now that disclaimer has been given, I have to say, I love Mother's Day. It is probably next to my birthday. Are you okay? Are you dying too? Okay. We're all having this allergy thing. Poor Stacie's like losing her mind. Billy's coughing. I'm crying. I know. I'm like, I don't want to get emotional.
Yeah.
But it sucks because I do have friends that, struggle with all sorts of relationships, but and whether it be with their own parents or their bodies or, their babies in heaven, whatever it is. So anyways, I love Mother's Day. I love Mother's Day almost as much as I love my birthday.
Can I just interject real quick?
Yes.
I don't think you and I could be more opposite. I don't think we've ever really talked about this because my birthday is not my favorite thing. And anybody around me knows it, yes. But I'm
around you and I didn't know that.
I know. I don't know what it is. I love being celebrated. Don't get me wrong. That's great. I just don't need a single day that's like, it's all about you. I love it.
100% I do.
I'm not
Clearly.
I'm not trying.
And if it could be more than one day, that would be great.
I'm not trying to feel ungrateful by any means, but I think this goes along with Mother's Day too. I do love Mother's Day, and I love being celebrated. I love celebrating my mother. I love celebrating all the moms in my life. But let's be real. Why does it have to be so close to our birthday, number one? Why does it have to be on a Sunday? And why does it have to be in May when we have end of the school year stuff, graduations, everything? I want my own month where there's nothing, okay?
That's brilliant.
Let's move it to August.
Well, and
maybe on a Saturday, so I can stay up late and not have to worry about going to work early in the morning on Monday.
Oh, I'm here for that. That's true, because if you brunch too hard on Mother's Day and got to go to work on Monday.
Right?
Yeah, but we're real estate agents. So we work Saturday and Sunday.
Single day.
So it doesn't really matter for us. But I get what you are saying. My question is, why isn't it a full weekend?
Right.
And I've said this before, moms and dads, we deserve a full weekend of doing whatever it is that we want to do. Okay, so I definitely want to get into your Mother's Day because I'm
than yours.
so not okay with your Mother's Day. I literally told her, you guys, I was like, Stacie, you need a redo. And she's probably thinking, well, yeah, she probably didn't even think, oh, I need a redo until I was like, you need a redo, honey. This just needs to re-happen for you because I am not okay with how this went down. So we will talk about that. Before we jump down that rabbit hole, I have to tell you, my husband is very, very good about making me feel very special. He is always thinking about it and stuff like that. However, lately, it's been hard around our house, right? Like we have a child who, God love him. We love him. But we had to have a come to Jesus meeting with him about 3 weeks ago. And it has been extremely stressful in our house. And it has been a lot. Even this weekend, David was like, David is Sweetie Pie, by the way. He was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, the stress of what we've been going through really got to me. I didn't handle it very well. You know, I'm sorry. And this, that, I'm like, we're good. All good. Don't even worry about it. It's totally fine. And I said, I was trying to give you some grace and be like, okay, well, it's just because he's stressed out. I said, but then when you took it a little too far, I was like, hey, we're going to smack this back down. And that's what wives are for. That's also what husbands are for.
Right.
But this weekend, it was really sweet. Leading up to it, he was like, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? Do you want to go to Havasu? And I was like, I don't think I want to go to Havasu. And he was like, really? And we have been to Havasu like 3 weekends in a row. And I have a lot of work right now, so it's kind of hard for me to just up and leave. And we have Memorial Day coming up. And so I said, I don't think I want to be that far away. Like, I don't want to drive 4 hours. I said, no, I'm good. Let's just stay home. And he's like, it's going to be gloomy here. I'm like, it's fine. We'll just stay home. And so he goes, you don't have anything planned on Friday, right? And I said, I do in the morning, but that's it. And he goes, okay, perfect. He's like, we're going to Santa Barbara and we're going horseback riding.
Aw.
And then we're going to stay the night. He found this Airbnb. He's like, we're going to stay the night.
Was it like the Montecito area?
No, okay. I have to give you my thoughts on Montecito.
Oh.
It was in the heart of Santa Barbara. Okay. We were one street, maybe two blocks from State Street. And it was the best. He figured out where we were going to dinner. We stayed the night. The next morning we got up, we rode our bikes. We have electric bikes, so we took them all the way up to Montecito, which was lovely. We sat at a really great bar, had some cocktails. My parents joined us, which was lovely as well. My mom wasn't feeling well on Friday, so I was like, oh man, okay. So she was having really bad vertigo, but they ended up meeting up with us, and it was amazing. So it was just my mom and my dad and my husband and I. And we all know my dad and Sweetie Pie are like besties, and my mom and I are very, very close and like besties also. That I was just so happy. And this is now the second year that last year I told him, I want to take my mom to have tea at the Langham in Pasadena.
And you did.
And I did. Yeah. And it was so fun. And then he's like, I booked us a hotel room. We're going to have dinner, all the things, and we'll be back in time. Well, this time we ended up staying 2 days. So on Saturday, we rode our bikes. We had the best time. We went to a little bar in Montecito. We had a cocktail, and it was so amazing. I had so much fun. And then we got up early Sunday morning at the Airbnb, at the bed and breakfast that we stayed at. They have tea and coffee in the morning, and then they have amazing breakfasts and stuff. So we had breakfast, get in the car. We drive home. Sunday, I walk in. Connor's like finishing up the dishes, and he's like, "Happy Mother's Day!" They were all excited. Jared walks in with flowers, and my kids wrote amazing cards for me. Jacob got me an amazing bottle of wine and a beautiful card, and we hung out all day.
You had all your kids.
I had all my kids. Jacob's like, what time's everybody coming over? And I'm like, you're mine. You can come anytime you want. So he's like, cool. So about 30 minutes later, he's like, okay, can we come over now? And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And I said, you do not have to ask. And he was like, okay. So him and Ash came over, and then David's like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, I want burgers. He's like, really? He said, yes. So he made burgers. I had made a macaroni salad. My brother brought over beans. We swam. My parents came over. It was perfection. David made me the best espresso martinis. Apparently there's a pre-made one. Yeah. Have you seen this?
I have.
Did you bring it to my house?
Maybe.
Because we had it, and David's like, I don't even know what the hell this is or who brought it.
So easy, so you don't have to buy all the ingredients separately.
Which is half the problem. This is right. Too easy.
Right. It is very easy.
And I love espresso martinis. Connor did like this little sheet, and it's like, what's your mom's favorite drink? And he wrote espresso martinis. And I'm like, even though you're 17, that's still hits not quite right. You should have put water or iced tea or Diet Coke. And he started laughing. He's like, but we all know it's really espresso martinis. I'm like, that's fair. So I got that. Jared got me some crocheted flowers.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've seen those, but they're so cute. It's a little crocheted bouquet. He's like, these won't die, Mama.
You could
I'm
keep
like,
them forever. So thoughtful.
and Jacob's bottle of wine was isosceles.
Ooh.
Such a good bottle of wine. So I'm like, he flew back to Tennessee yesterday. David dropped him off at the airport to go see his sister graduate on his mom's side, high school, and his flight was delayed. It was freaking
She graduated already?
She's graduating this year.
Wow.
I know. She's a year older than Connor. Not birth-wise a year older, but year-wise. Like her birthday's September, and then Connor's is the following March. So anyways, so Jacob went to go see his mom. So I was like, hey, when you get back, we'll totally enjoy this bottle of wine. He's like, okay. So I told Ashlyn.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. I told Ashlyn, I was like, you need to come over while Jacob's gone. She's like, okay, I will. So I think we're gonna try and plan something or go get some Din Tai Fung.
I love this. I don't mean to stop you
You're
because you're
fine.
on a roll, but you really created the family dynamic you wanted. Despite how anybody could have pictured it for you, you crafted it, and that's goals, girl. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
I hope that my boys are still a little bit younger, not by much, but when they're my adult children, I hope that they want to come and hang out with me and just show up on my doorstep and want to hang out all day. And I think they will. But
It's the best. I took a picture of Jacob and he had David got him like a pool float from the water. And so he's laying on the coping of the pool and he's laying there kicking back. He's got a beer and and I was like, my heart is so happy just seeing him so relaxed. Like it was seriously the best Mother's Day. I told David that night, I said, my heart is so full. And Melissa came over because Jared had to work. So Melissa came over with Abby, who's back from school. Yay. And her son, Brayden. And so we were just hanging out and stuff. And I'm like, this was probably one of my most favorite Mother's Day.
Perfect.
So I am so, so grateful that David got me the nicest card and just, yeah. My heart is still so full from that weekend. And I told him, I said, that really meant a lot to me. When we were up in Santa Barbara, he goes, you know what trip we should do next? And I said, what? And he goes, after we get back from Hawaii and stuff, he's like, let's plan a trip where we stay in Cambria and we take the bikes and we ride up to Hearst Castle. We love Hearst Castle. Yeah. And I'm like, that would be a really good time. So
he's so good. He's so thoughtful and attentive that way. I always say my perfect date is that Pretty Woman moment where they plan it, they tell you, aside from, they could even not tell you what to bring and then you go shopping when you get up there. That would make it even...
How fun.
I know.
Right?
I've always told Brian that's my perfect act. So if you're listening, I've told you this for 20 years. Still hasn't happened, but I love you.
I'll call him.
Okay.
I'll call him.
Well, my Mother's Day I actually had a great Mother's Day. I know that you're so sweet to say I needed a redo, but just as I told my birthday.
I'm going to have your back. I'm going to have your back for sure.
I don't, she's texting my husband probably right now.
I'm getting a call.
I know.
But I will text him.
I didn't spend it with both of my children, which made my heart a little sad. Austin had a water polo and I love it. I live for what my kids want. If they want to play sports, I am going to be there all in. If they tell me they don't want to play sports anymore, that's fine. I'm following your lead. So he had a water polo tournament in San Diego, which is the second year in a row. I think you were with us last year.
No, not last year. It was the year before. Because last year I took my mom to the Langham, but I have to cut you off really, really quick.
Yeah.
One, because I'm good at that, but two, because that is where we are different. You are a much better mom than I because when it comes to what our kids want to do, because I'm a little more selfish where I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. My kids never played travel ball. They never played club sports until they could drive themselves. And even now, we don't go to every tournament. We don't do any of that stuff. My idea, please don't come at me. My idea of fun is not sitting at a tournament every single weekend. And on top of that, because I work a lot of weekends, I also don't want to feel guilty about missing tournaments and games while I'm working.
Right.
I am not here for any of that. I'm not here for it. I will have mom guilt. I do have it. I have a girlfriend, Marie, who is so good about not having mom guilt. It's my thing. I have it naturally. I don't like it. So so my kids never did any of that. If we missed a baseball game, oh, well, we're going out to Havasu or we're doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. Ellen Titula told me I am 100% committed 50% of the time, and that is me. So knowing that about myself, I would not sign my kids up for any of the travel sports and stuff like that. So that is where you are an incredible being. And many moms and dads out there are. They're all for that. I'm just not. And I love that I didn't do that.
I think this is a great conversation to have because there's room for everyone. There's room for both. And it doesn't make you or me any better than each other.
Nope.
And at the end of the day, I'm probably the one running the most ragged because I'm giving probably more than I should. I'm the mom in the stands that you don't think is going to be loud.
You are a very good mom. You are a less selfish mother than I.
I am the one looking at the parents in the stands and judging them for how they're yelling at my kid in the pool because my kid stole a ball from his and whatever. Anyway.
Like when they go, oh, did you see number 10? The person behind you, did you see number 10? I'm like, yeah, that's my kid. Sorry.
But I will say I see the joy in my kids, and for me, my season is it's not going to last forever. I got 4 years till Bryson is 18.
You're
and
right.
Everyone says you're going to be bored. Oh, heck no, I'm not. I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm going to be working even more. I mean, I work a lot now, but continuing to build it even more. And so when this tournament came up, the best of it. So Bryson went with my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and he had a fantastic time this weekend. So thank you so much for having my baby on your Mother's Day too, Shayla. I love you. And he had a fantastic time, but he's so sweet. He put a post at 12:02 a.m. and he was the first one and said, "Happy birthday, Mom! I love you so much." And
no, Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Yes.
Sorry, again.
I knew what you meant.
So close to
That's
my
so true.
Anyway, birthday and Mother's Day 2 weeks apart. But anywho, and it was so sweet. So I did miss not having that part with him on Mother's Day. But again, I had to compartmentalize. I was here with Austin that day, and
where was his tournament at?
It was in San Diego. Okay. He was supposed to have.
So it could be in far worse places.
It could have been.
At least you
and
were
the
in
weather
freaking
the weather was
Barstow.
Phenomenal. We got a little color out in the sun. Got some vitamin D. Austin played great, and even if he didn't play great, I would have been just as happy just seeing him thrive and doing what he loves to do. And the morning of Mother's. So Brian did come down with us. He came down with us. And he had a great first day. And then I could see that he had a lot on his mind with work. And I said, you know what? Why don't you go home in the morning? He said, I don't want to leave you on Mother's Day. I said, honestly, I'm going to be here at the pool. Anyway, I said, just go home. And so he says, well, I'm not going to just work. I'm going to change your brakes. And to me, that's a love language for me because my husband is very handy. And so I did. I spent all day away from one kid and my husband on Mother's Day, came home. We had Taco Bell for dinner. And I eat very healthy, so people don't come at me, but it's okay. You have to have a balance sometimes.
I haven't had Taco Bell in years. Was it delicious? It sounds good, actually.
It was okay.
Maybe I'm hungry.
It was
that girl's hungry right now.
I mean, at the end of the day, I wanted to just get home, and another sweet family offered to drive us home. So bless her poor husband had 2 mothers to nurture. So,
I love it.
We were like, whatever's quick and easy. We want to get home to our other children and our husbands. So I showed up. I did come home, and my brakes were changed. The house was clean. I had a beautiful bouquet of flowers. A funny story about cards. I did buy my own Mother's Day card this year.
What? From who?
For myself.
From who, though?
Oh.
Was it from Brian, or you bought yourself a card to write nice things to yourself?
That would be,
okay, I don't know which angle this is going, sis, so I'm just trying to clarify.
We should make that a thing. We should write words of affirmation.
You are amazing. I'd like to thank me for being me. Remember when Snoop Dogg, the best. The best.
And no, but I in hindsight, I knew how busy we were going to be. And so I just happened to be at the store, and I picked up a card, and I said, you know what? And I said to Brian, I'm going to do you a favor, because cards are my affirmation.
Me
I don't
too.
need gifts.
I
don't need anything. I save them all. I scrapbook them. I go back and look at them throughout the years, and I save my kids' cards too.
Yes, I do
that
too.
people give them so that they can go back and not everybody's, but
sure.
The grandparents and from us and maybe best friends, so they can look back and say, hey,
I like that.
Look what you wrote when you were in 4th grade.
You're gonna go give them that shit when they're 25, and they're like, yeah, thanks, Mom, and they're gonna throw it away, and you stored it for 25 years.
But and nor here nor there. What you said earlier about Connor, it was Connor that said your favorite drink is espresso martini.
Yes.
Well, this card says my mom likes to wine and dine and be in bed by 9. That is so me. I love my wine. I love to dine, and I got to be in bed by early. Yeah. So and that was what the card said, and so I actually bought 2 cards. So I'm gonna actually expose myself here. So I bought 2 cards. One was for my mom, and one was for me. And I put them on my dresser and said, hey, just have the kids sign it. You know, it's my love language. I know that sounds weird, whatever. But I just want you, so you don't have to go. He's like, oh, thanks, babe, thanks, babe. So I come home and I see the card there, but I was so tired. And I got to see Bryson. He gave me a big old hug. I missed you, Mom. Love you. Okay. Well, Mom's going to bed now because it's Mother's Day still. I want to go to bed.
It's after 9.
It's after 9. And so I saw the card with the flowers. And then Brian comes in the next morning. He always kisses me before he leaves for work before I get up, kisses me before he leaves. And I said, oh, I love you, babe. Have a good day. So then I get up and I look at my dresser and I don't see the other card there because I was going to have my kids sign the card for my mom. And so I walk out and now I see 2 cards. So not only did he take the one card that I told him he could use and write with the kids for me, but he used the card that I got from my mom and had the kids write in that. And then he wrote a separate card just for me. And to be granted, he wrote the most beautiful thing, took up the whole inside. I mean, so long. I love that guy. And so I call him. I said, did you use both cards? He's like, well, yeah, I wrote one for you and I wanted the kids to write because I wrote so much. And I said, well, I'm not your mom, so you could have just written in the same card with the kids. Anyways, I don't know if the story is funny or not, but...
So now, well, neither way, so now your mom doesn't have a Mother's Day card.
No, she did.
Okay.
I went and got her card. And
thank God you could find one.
I know. But it was funny, so I called him. I said, well, I just bought 2 cards for myself, and you just bought another card.
For my mom. That is awesome. So it was cute. David had gone to the grocery store and picked up a Mother's Day card for me. And he's there and he goes, you know what, I'm going to pick these up for the boys too because they probably won't do it or whatever. So he goes home and he calls Carson and he's like, where are you guys? He's like, we're at Albertsons. Why? And he's like, what are you doing there? He's like, we just bought mom cards. And David's like, okay. So now I have a plethora of Mother's Day cards to last me for the next couple of years.
Brian will need it next year.
Fair enough. And then you won't have to do it.
Well, I mean, we have to set example for our kids, right? Like they're going to have mother-in-laws. They're going to have a wife. They're going to need to do these things. They need to lead by example. So I knew how busy we both were. I was there already. Okay, I'm going to get the cards. Like, I'm sure I'm not the first mom to ever have done that. I'm not the first mom to buy their own present for their own birthdays, too. You know, we do what we can do.
I just love that you knew what you wanted, so you went out and got it and did it. I think that's so much better. I was
and coming home to no card.
Yes,
and being like, that's all I wanted. I just wanted a card. I don't need a fancy dinner.
Again,
I just want a card.
Case in point, this is why you are better than I, because I'm like, no. Go buy. I am extremely busy. There are very few people that I know that I can think of off the top of my head that are busier than me. I make it that way for sure. Like, this is my problem. I get it. But if I have time to go and get you a card or to go and think of a gift or to go and make you something or whatever it is, you have time to get me a card. Order it. Order it off of Amazon. It will show up delivered to your home between 4 and 8 a.m. if you order it early enough. Like, I'm not here for this. So you are far better than I. I was reading on social media, I'm part of this like Facebook group, and this anonymous person put how she was really hurt and she didn't know how to bring it to her husband, that she was really hurt that this Mother's Day, he didn't do anything for her. He woke up, gave her a kiss and said, Happy Mother's Day. And that was it. She didn't get a card. There was no other acknowledgement. Like, it was just another day. And my heart broke for her. So if you are a man listening to this, I will tell you right now, Mother's Day is always the second Sunday of May. Always. So the date changes, but
even though we'd like to move it to August.
Amen.
And on a Saturday.
Amen. Even though the date changes, the day does not.
Yeah.
And for women out there who are bad at this, because there are just as many women, I'm sure, bad at this that there are men, Father's Day is the third Sunday. So I think of it this way. Women come first, so they're the second, men are the third. Okay, so now that you know that, you can start planning now for Mother's Day next year. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or grandiose. Do what your wife likes. Now, if you are a mama out there and you are telling your significant other what you want and you're not being honest, I'm not here for that either.
No.
I will tell you, this is what I want to do. One Mother's Day, I said, yep, I want to go to Havasu. And on the way home, I want to go to Joe's in Vegas. And you know what we did? We went to Havasu and then we went to Joe's in Vegas for lunch and then drove home.
I feel like I was on this trip with you.
Were you? We've done it. We've done it before. I just don't know if it was Mother's Day.
Maybe it was Memorial.
It could have been.
I don't know.
The best.
Yeah.
It was the best. And then, yeah, it was amazing. So, you need to be honest. And there was one, poor sweetie pie, I'm going to sell him out right now. There was one birthday. So David and I are one day apart. We are 4 years and 1 day apart. He's older, in case you're wondering. So my birthday is literally the day after his, okay? He knows when his birthday is because at this point he had probably been celebrating it. Oh, I don't know, maybe 25 years at this point. He was probably 25. And so my birthday, and he comes home from work, and I had made dinner or whatever. We're sitting at the dinner table, and I'm still waiting. I'm like, where's my card? Or where's the gift? Or like, what did the kids get me? Or what did they color for me? Or whatever. And nothing. So we go to bed at night. We wake up the next day, and he goes, are you mad at me because I didn't do anything for your birthday? Like, I didn't even say anything. I acted a whole nother way. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't say anything. And I said, I'm not mad, but my feelings are really hurt. And I just started crying. And I said, you didn't even think about it. It was like, it was just another day. And I went out of my way to make your day feel special. And, you know, we did whatever it was that we did. And I said, you didn't even get me a card. Like, you didn't even have the boys get me a card and scribble in it. Like I was so upset. From that moment on, every other holiday that there is a big deal that's made. And it doesn't, and not a big deal in the sense like, oh, we're doing this lavish thing, but a big deal where it's celebrated. I know a lot of people don't do Valentine's Day because they think it's just a Hallmark holiday. Okay, fine. For us, it's a big deal. We like to celebrate life in general. Yeah. So to associate a holiday with it, we are here for it. So to me, that's what I wanted. I told him, I want at least a card from you every holiday. You need to get me a card, at least for my birthday and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. Those are the 3 days. You don't need to get me one for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that. But I do expect those things, especially because I feel like I do give it my all throughout the year. And when it's your birthday and when it's Father's Day, we're celebrating the hell out of you too. So if you're a mom out there and you're not telling your significant other, or let's say you don't have a significant other, you have children, you need to be telling them at a young age what they should be doing. Come on, guys, we need to go pick out a card for mommy. It's Mother's Day. And you go and you pick out that card. You help them do that. I mean, even when they're itty bitty babies, you should be doing that. Like, yeah. And I mean, obviously I don't mean like, you know, weeks old, but I'm talking 3 or 4 years old. Which one do you like? Even if it says, you know, Happy Father's Day and Snoopy's on it. Like, who cares? That's the card that they picked. Let them color it and call it a day. I think that it's really important that you instill that because I was talking to another mom, a girlfriend of mine, love her to pieces. And she's like, I really think that Mother's Day needs to be for the moms in the trenches. Like, the adult moms, so like we're not the same age. She's a little bit younger than me, but like our moms and our mother-in-laws need to take a step aside. Like we're in the trenches. We're dealing with the crazy schools and the crazy schedules and the this and the that. And I said, whoop, stop. I said, let me tell you something right now. When my kids get older, if they don't think of me for Mother's Day, if I don't get a Mother's Day card, if those things don't happen, my feelings would be so hurt. So I totally disagree with you. And I said, and I think it's even harder being a mom, an older mom, a mom of older kids rather, because there's so many balls in the air, right? Like I'm juggling a husband, a career. Yeah, I might not be wiping asses, but you know, I've got kids in high school. I have a daughter-in-law, like, and then I have to think of my daughter-in-law and her mom, family. Right? Yep. And I have to think of my stepson's mom, even though, you know, she lives far away and stuff like that. I mean, I don't have to anymore, but when he was little, I certainly did, you know, did you get her anything? What are we doing? You know, that sort of thing. So to me, it's like, I get what she was saying though too, because she was like, Lauren, I don't want to spend my younger Mother's Day years with my mother-in-law or with my mom doing what they're doing. Whatever it is that they want to do. I want to have a say in what it is that I want to do too. And I said, well, it doesn't have to be on the same day, but I totally resonated with her. I get that. I remember when David and I were first married, our first Mother's Day that we were married, David asked his mom, you know, what do you want to do? And she wanted to go have brunch at the Disneyland Hotel. Well, brunch was $200. It was $100 each. And so I remember feeling so bad. We got her a card, but we didn't get her a gift and everything like that. And she wanted that gift. She expected that gift. And luckily, we had told her, listen, we can only afford one or the other. It's either you have us at brunch or we get you a gift. Yeah. And she picked the brunch, which was smarter of her because we probably spent more money at the brunch than we would have on a gift anyways. And then my mom was like, let's just barbecue in the evening. So I did brunch with my mother-in-law and then barbecue in the evening. I didn't have any kids. I was a bonus mama for sure. And I loved my baby, but he was with his mom celebrating.
Yeah.
So once we had kids though, I get that. I get Sorry, my phone's going off. We had 3 new listings go live this week, so my phone's been going crazy. But I get where she was coming from. So I like setting that expectation. And I like that David, we have kind of like a balance now where it's like, okay, what do you want to do this weekend? And then he plans Santa Barbara, invites my mom, so I get my mom time, but then make sure I'm back in time for my kids.
I think that's important. What you said is to be vocal about what you want. Like for me this weekend, I was very happy. And I remember sitting in the stands thinking that there's probably a lot of moms that are probably sitting there like, why is she there? That's crazy. And I sat there. I was relaxed.
Or there's other mamas there that don't want to be there. You genuinely did.
Oh, and there were. Oh, yeah, there were. But luckily, I surround myself with like-minded mamas that were all very happy. And we're sitting there eating snacks and, just watching our kids thrive. And we're sitting in the sunshine and, because we're in the same industry. So my phone was going off. I was taking calls, but I did have to set the boundary that I'm not going to answer a call while my kid's playing in the pool right now.
Yeah.
I'll send you a quick text. I'll call you in 30 minutes because I have to manage it that way too.
Good.
So, but I think it's important. Like I knew sending Brian home was what I wanted because I could see how much work he had on his plate. He worked so hard for our family and we were just sitting there. We were sitting there in between games a lot. There was a lot of downtime. So for me, I didn't mind sending him home. Our Mother's Days looked very different, but I still felt the love. I did. I felt the love when I got home and the next morning when 2 of my cards that I bought were both used.
We're both filled out.
But I'm blessed. Both my boys, I got to talk to my mom that day, and I got to see my mom the next day after that because again, several Mother's Day I've been gone now. So it's nice to find that balance. Going back to my point that I don't personally think we need an actual day. I think there could be we need a month. Really?
Or pick a weekend that works for you and this is when we're celebrating them.
And I think that's with my birthday too where I have that hiccup. There's so much expectation. Yes. And I think that's where my anxiety kind of starts flaring is I don't want to let someone down even though it's supposed to be about me. So I don't know. So I've always felt that way. I've always felt like, well, I don't need everybody. What if I want to do something and someone can't make it? I always am thinking about that. But what you had said is we need to be vocal about what we want. I did what I wanted. You did what you wanted. It looked different to both of us. And we're both amazing moms with amazing children. And we felt the love. So, yeah.
Oh, it's so hard. Just so you know, we owe you a birthday dinner. Well, because I screwed up the dates of not your birthday. I did not screw up her birthday. She is literally a week before me. So I did not screw up her birthday. But I told her, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go to dinner on Saturday. And then I had thought that
it was Havasu.
It was Havasu. Yeah. We were going to Havasu for Desert Storm, and I screwed up the weekends of Desert Storm. And David's like, well, I still want to go to Desert Storm. So we went the following weekend, which was when we were supposed to grab dinner. So we owe you dinner. So we got to put that on the calendar between Brian's crazy schedule and ours.
I know where you live. I know where your children go to school.
This is true.
We're in the same industry, so I might show up at your open house with a bottle of wine and say, well, this is our dinner now.
I love it. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for talking all things Mother's Day with me. I hope you had a great day.
I did.
And a couple of years from now, it'll look a little different, I'm sure, and you'll be kind of bittersweet.
I know it will be. I'll miss the crazy. We'll miss that. But I definitely want to join you in Santa Barbara or take our bikes to Cambria and go do all the things.
That would be fun to have an adult weekend.
Because that's when you tend to plan all your vacations.
It's the worst and the best.
I hand you my credit card. How many times have I done that? True story.
We will have to do that. I need to find, there's a really great Best Western up there, and they have, it overlooks the bluff. And so you can see the water and everything. You can hear the foghorn at night. It's beautiful. So we'll have to book that.
You had me at Best Western, man.
Done. And it's not I'm here, as long as it's not camping, I'm here for it.
Well, and that's where this is
where we are different. But anyways, I love you and I hope you had a great Mother's Day. You're a wonderful mom, and thank you for being a great second mama to my babies.
Same, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Thanks, babe.